I'll call the meeting to order at 6:37. Let's see, we have a quorum, myself, Judy, Erica, and Michael, and Suzanne Zoom. I see no public. And
No guess.
no guests. So we do expect someone from Orlando.
Yeah.
So we can pick them up later. I think. Why don't we go right to your staff report?
Somebody's on there.
Is somebody there?
I guess. Go ahead.
All right, so apologies that I picked 4:11 instead of 11:14 to send to you guys. So I didn't do that. Dave caught it, thank goodness. Mariners Way, we sort of have that on the back burner at the moment. We've been concentrating on getting ARPA all squared away and, but I think that would pick up, towards the end of the year, beginning of the new year. Getting that whole, piece fixed up with the, development agency, and the things that need to be put in place to do that. Marketing, we're going to hear a full report on that, but I just wanted to point out the sales to the website again and the community calendar. I think it's going well so far. We've got people posting on it.
It's not an empty calendar.
Yeah, so anyway, it's going to be a work in progress, but I think it was a good launch. So we're excited about that. It took a lot of work on the Miranda Creative team side to do that, and that was really awesome. It's, you know, we have some big heavy hitters on board, like the Kate, Saybrook Point. You know, we've got Park and Rec and Historical Society and a bunch of our businesses, and even more coming on board. And actually yesterday, the chamber posted all of their holiday special events up there. So that's all really great stuff.
It's the chamber, they have their own calendar on their website. Are they going to be moving like over to this eventually? Or
I don't think so. But,
do
you
they
know,
go
their
like some
calendar,
licenses?
they have almost 500 members now, and their members
That's your
encompass
hard
more than just Old Saybrook. So I would not anticipate them getting rid of their own calendar. And I know they've invested a lot of money at their website and stuff like that. So, but just to have them is really important. Yeah. They do a lot, and I would love for that participation to increase to the offerings they have for businesses, because they have so many wonderful networking events and educational events, and you know, to share that piece with all of our community, I think would be good. So, you know, keep working on that. Our social media is going good. We're still making gains there. Starlight Festival, we're in the home stretch on that. We've got a full slate of events up on the website. The only thing that isn't 100% updated is the restaurant participants. Those aren't finalized, so most of the ones that are up there are people who participated last year. I'm hoping they'll participate again, but we got a little bit of a late start on that. We had some staffing changes, and the person who used to really on that piece isn't here this year, so adjusting to that. Let's see. So let's do just some of the other holiday things coming on.
Oh, but just a question on Starlight. Are we going to have A table?
Yes, we are
Okay,
gonna,
we're gonna have giveaways?
yeah, and we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I have a tendency to cannibalize my report. I'm trying not to do that. Main Street, there's actually a lot of exciting stuff going on Main Street. I have an intern, she just started today. I would like to have her work on updating the Main Street one and finishing the Route 1 inventory. I think that's a really important communication tool. And I think also, if we want to really be more thoughtful about what we would like to see on Main Street, we have a couple of vacancies, that the data from that inventory will help us to make those decisions. So I do think that maybe we want to check that out and start thinking deliberately about that. That's one of the things that you'll recall from our Main Street assessment that has been recommended, that we sort of identify areas that we think, we can plug a hole on Main Street, so to speak, and see if there's a way that we can help facilitate that. Luckily, we don't have a lot of vacancies, but we do have a couple. So the Airstream Club is definitely coming in October. Still working out the details of what special events we'll hold with them, but they seem very enthusiastic. I've also talked to Kate about a couple things, because the Airstream Club had suggested potentially they have like a documentary on their streams that maybe could be screened there, and Kate has also offered to give like private tour for their people and stuff like that. So, I think we'll continue to build on that, involve like the downtown restaurants and shops too. A new little business opened up where Pieces used to be. It's very cute inside. I don't know if you've had a chance to go in there.
It's been popular with middle school kids this week.
Yeah.
Then half days, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
Yeah, it's definitely a young vibe in there. It's very beachy. They sell like the smoothies and the acai bowls and the toasts and, and the price point is a little more reasonable for, younger folks, but it's very nicely done in there. Right.
Yeah.
And they kept a little bit of the artisan stuff, because a lot of people were so disappointed that Pieces was leaving. And so in the back, she has almost like a little gift shop, and some of those artisans continue to sell their wares. So it's a nice little tie-in between the previous use and the use. Also, I know we will score huge points on our Main Street assessment next week, or next year, because Public Works has been really going to town on Main Street. They're doing a great job. For those of you who went on our walk a couple of years ago, was it a couple of years ago?
I think so, yeah.
Main Street, there were some uneven sidewalks in a few areas. You see some of the brick facade wearing off in a few areas. Public Works has identified a bunch of those spots. They're fixing those tripping hazards. They're refurbishing the, facade of the brick. And that's just phase one. In the spring, anywhere you might see when there's a rainfall, when we actually have rain again, there's some puddling that happens in some of the parking stalls on Main Street. In the spring, they're going to correct all that. I'm going to do the sidewalks first, then those. And then also in the spring, there you go. Yeah. I mean, we'll just get those three, but so a lot of really huge infrastructure stuff, investment in our Main Street, which is awesome. And I think really, like if you have a chance to see our Public Works Director or you see Carl, I mean, it's really a testament to our town and how they believe in the value of Frontage Street, that everybody, you know, is looking out for these things and pitching in. So I think that's awesome.
You do like
We should
a
encourage it.
event or something when the first one opens up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get just back to my main street walk.
Yeah.
I walk every day almost. It's cross.
Right.
Oh my God, I
Sounds like a whole
don't
president, you know?
leave, and I'll have to stop swearing at people that are running by, giving them fingers and doing all that, and then I can just walk.
No excuse anymore.
No more.
Did they decide what they're gonna do to make it safe, or is that, we'll find out in the spring?
Yeah, there's a proposal before DOT right now. It encompasses a few different things. There's like, a raised bump out on the side of the road. So we'll lose a couple parking spaces, here and there, but, it sort of shortens the distance, makes the pedestrian more visible. And then there'll be a flashing beacon in the middle. And there'll also be specialty striping and like brickish work.
To make it very
To make-
visible that
yes.
this is a walk.
It's different than, yeah.
So there's several pieces that all work
And
together
then the
to
jerks will
make
still be
it,
jerks, but
yeah, to calm the traffic, make pedestrians more visible. So yeah. But we need to wait for the go ahead. I thought we were gonna have a new art hallway thing today, but I didn't get it, so, we do have somebody who's interested in the summer exhibit though.
In May through August?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so, we can talk about budget more later, but I did want to put some specifics in here about the 5-year, capital plans and things like that. That's something new we're doing this year. We can talk about that a little bit more when we talk about budget. Recreational trails grant, still working on those, aspects, holiday lighting. If I don't show up to the next meeting, please check my office and make sure that I wasn't like, you know, covered by a pile of Christmas decorations and knocked unconscious and didn't get out of my office, because right now it's a crazy pile of boxes in there, but, I hope that, people are gonna like what the committee has come up with and adding some new lighting there, and we'll continue to add some more next year. Oh, so talking about Thrive here, I did say that we're gonna have, some more information on the septic capacity study next week, but Chris Costa and I had a preliminary meeting with them today where they talked about, sort of their, sort of preliminary recommendations for our community. And it was so good. I can't wait for it to be done and to show it to everybody. They really like mapped out areas where they think could have the most impact if we made changes in our TOD area, and then other areas that, you know, could use some tweaks. They did really beautiful new design for wayfinding and just really opening up the area near the train station to make it more user-friendly, less confusing. They also had some recommendations about Main Street. And I asked them to even add on to that a little bit more, with some more specifics about wayfinding, because that was some of the, like, once you get off the train and you get down to Main Street, where should you go? What should you do? How should you navigate that as like outsiders? When we had our walk, they sort of talked about some of that, and I asked them to expand on that a little bit more after our discussion today. But that really, I think, goes into some of the stuff that I wanted to put in the 5-year capital plan. And then they also had like some really long-term, bigger picture, harder to accomplish things, but still like visionary, aspirational. So I think they've done a great job. I have to say, it was a lot of work sometimes for me and Chris. And when you're like working on a regional level, sometimes you worry, is this going to trickle down to me in a way that's going to be very useful? And I really feel wholeheartedly after meeting with them and getting to this point that we're going to have some really useful information come out of this that we can adapt and use to move forward with some things that we've already been talking about and things that are even bigger. So it's really exciting.
One of this, I think, talk one of the planning meetings too, they also gonna include like instructions or guidelines on like how to finance some of these projects,
Yeah.
like what grants are available or how to apply for that stuff. So
Yeah,
not just a cool idea, but also like here's the programs that things to look for, like
yeah.
get them funded, and
Moving forward.
make them real, yeah.
Yeah, working with them has turned out to be a really great experience. And I mean, I'm really happy that River Cog got that grant and we were part of it. So anyway. And the annual report is going to be presented at the annual town meeting on November 25th at 6 o'clock. If you're interested in attending. We'll also go on the rest of the ARPA. Let's put that one. I did include the expenditures for our ARPA project to date also. So we're on fire for that. And that's the report.
Good job. Okay. We got a lot of good stuff going on. Shall we, go to regular business, we'll do the minutes and marketing. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the October 10th meeting.
Recommend moved.
Yeah, we'll give you
I'll give it a check.
a second.
Second.
Okay. Everybody read the minutes. We'll give you a couple minutes to join them.
The meeting, but looking at us reading it, is in like the regular business vote here. It just says 330, but looking for the 303, but I think anybody voted against it. But
No.
3 abstentions.
Yeah, there were 3 of us that weren't there.
Well, it's all 3, I'm like, who voted against the minutes? That never.
For whatever
Very
reason,
minor.
maybe we started doing that, but for whatever reason, it seems that the abstentions come before the
Oh,
opposed. You know,
Oh, that's what.
but I used to think it was yays, nays, and then after
That's usually.
abstain, you know,
I think of it.
so it gets confusing. All right. Everybody's having a chance to go in the minutes. All in favor of approving the minutes of October 10th? Yay.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Opposed? All right, and abstentions?
I don't say.
Mike? Mike? Casey? Okay. Motion approved. Any correspondence and announcements? Jennifer? No? All right. So we're down to the marketing report. And we have someone up there.
We got Sarah. Sorry, Sarah,
Hi,
that
Sarah.
I didn't send you the link.
That's okay. I was like, man, Jennifer normally sends that. What happened? It's all right. It's been a crazy week. Hello, all. I hope everybody is doing well today. I'm going to share my screen and jump right in to what we got going on this month. All right. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So just starting off here, moving through kind of our plan that we have been working off of for the last however long now. We're into November, which brings, as Jennifer said at the top of the meeting, a lot of exciting things for the town. The website launch, Starlight is coming up. We've started our new contract, and we're in the process of getting a lot of a creative out for Starlight and moving that forward. And also, and I'll touch on this a little bit more, we've changed our paid media strategy to support the website. So I'll get to that in a minute. Recent work, continue to keep our social organic updated to the season that we're in. Now that we have the website as kind of the anchor of everything, creative is built around the visual for that. So we have a cohesive look across all of our platforms. So this month we updated the Facebook background to match some of the visuals that we knew would be pushing out on the website. And we also put out a teaser post, if you will, before we launch the website, driving traffic to the timely calendar to bring some awareness to events that were occurring the weekend before we were launching. And this was the piece of creative we used to kind of give a wink nod to there would be a site being launched shortly. Paid social. So as I said, we've kind of changed our paid social strategy. We started off with these creatives in a Safe Fall, what is referred to as awareness campaign that ran through the end of October, did quite well, 5,000 plus impressions. The strategy discussed with our social media and digital team for when we launched the site was to take these creatives and transition them to what's referred to as a traffic campaign. So these images are currently being used in our paid media strategy, and as opposed to just bringing awareness to the town and all of the great things going on, is actually driving traffic to our recently launched website. As of yesterday, we had 33,000 impressions, meaning eyes seeing these particular pieces of creative, and 2,000 plus click-throughs to the website. So relatively successful for only having been launched for a few days. Moving forward, we will continue to put forth a traffic campaign driving traffic to the website as opposed to awareness, which we had been doing previously.
So
Questions on this before I move on?
2,000 people went to the website just in the first few days of it from this.
That's what I'm getting for click-through rates.
That's really good, isn't it?
Yes. It might have been 50 of me in there, but so yeah, so it's doing well. So I'm happy to report that we're seeing that data come through as people clicking through going to the website. As we have the site up longer, I'll be able to pull some more in-depth data about where directly people are coming from. Is it search? Is it through these paid ads? Is it, or they find it randomly? Is it a QR code? Those kind of things as we put more ways to get to the website out in the world. Okay. Any other questions on media before I move on? Okay. All right. As we were just talking about, website is live. I'm very excited that it is out in the world and people are actually engaging with it, engaging with the calendar. Jennifer, to our point earlier today, I don't know if you can see it, but I was able to get the little favicon on the tab, so you now have a little say bubble at the top of the browser for when we open the old Saybrook website. Nothing major, but just a nice little touch. So again, happy to see people are engaging with this. The calendar, as you all were discussing earlier, has some great events on it. I will be honest, I do reference it on occasion when I am out and about to see what is going on in the town. And we were able to get our load more button updated so that people can continue to scroll if they want to see further down as to what is going on in town. So congratulations on a very awesome website that is out in the world. I'm excited to have worked on it and really excited to see what we can continue to do with it. So I know on our side, we're all very proud of what it has become and look forward to continuing to grow it.
Great.
Starlight, here it comes. I'm excited for this as well. We're getting very close to the event. So Jennifer and I have been going back and forth quite a bit on the creative for the event. I will say that the Starlight page is also under our events link on the website. So when people come to the Starlight page, they're actually engaging with the website as well. And all of our creative leads to this landing page with the information on the current event. So for creative assets, we have the event page posted on Facebook. We have paid advertisements running as well as a couple organic posts. I've spoken with Jennifer, and I think, Jennifer, were you able to hand out the vendor social at this point? Because we created some specific pieces for the vendors to share on their own social medias as well.
Yeah, it hasn't gone out to them yet, but it will either tomorrow or probably beginning of next week.
Okay, great. So yeah, we created this in two formats, the square format for your Instagram static posts and potentially Facebook static posts. And I asked our team this year to create a vertical or reel or story format that can be used in the reels and stories, which tend to get a good bit of engagement. So that's why we decided to add this format as well. People can post it and put stickers and, you know, countdowns and join me's and links on those kind of creatives. So was happy to add that this year. Also have done print ads and flyers. So these are out in the world as well. The flyers, I believe, Jennifer, we had them for recently, last week, I think.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep, so we're starting to get those out and about in the community, and I have them up all around town hall.
Some in the doors, town hall.
And we'll have
Are-
some advertising.
Are the flyers out? Because I was in town last week and I didn't see any yet. So I'm hoping to see some this weekend when I come down.
Yeah, I had my intern passing them out today.
Great. All right. Well, I'll confirm they're in Ashland this weekend when I go to get my coffee. So I'll be looking. All right. Print ads are also to you as well, Jennifer. So those I know are ready for when you're ready to deploy them in any print media.
Mhm.
Paid social, paid advertising for Starlight Festival is currently running as well. We did a bit of a different strategy with this year versus last year because we have the website launch going concurrently. So we have our traffic advertisements for the website leading to the Saybrook website. We decided to do this as a boosted post, still leading to the landing page for the Starlight Festival, but we didn't want these two types of ads competing in the same arena. So that's why we decided to make a slight change. It's a nuance, but it was one that our digital team felt strongly about, which is why we decided to deploy this particular piece of media as a boosted post as opposed to a paid ad. Questions on that before I move on? Okay. Next, we will be moving to our, I'm sorry?
I was just gonna say, these strategies that none of us think of are why we made these guys.
Yeah, Allie and I had some conversations about how we wanted to go about this. Allie's our lead digital strategist. So, moving forward, we'll be pushing out organic social with a countdown feature. So these are the creatives we've come up. We had some great photography from last year. I wanted to make sure we brought some of that in, brought the human element to the event, and just, you know, it just looked spectacular. So we'll be pushing these out as they roll out for those particular dates. Another reason we decided to do this particular countdown as organic social, so it'll be on the feed, the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, as well as the event page. We decided to do it this way this year was because we found that people were having some confusion to these as paid advertisements for last year. So we'd push out the, hey, Starlight's in 2 weeks, and somebody would see it maybe a week later, or maybe, you know, 5 days out from the event. And there was confusion as to, like, wait a minute, this event is not 2 weeks away, it's 3 days away. So we decided this year to keep the organic, the countdown as an organic as opposed to paid. So just touching base on this, our timeline, we've completed kind of our planning, our moving through our paid content. We'll be moving into our, like I said, organic countdown posts through the event. So 2 weeks, next week, this weekend, tomorrow, today. And then we also have set up on our end a our team will be building out an organic post as well that we can push out after the event, thanking everybody who participated, our local municipal organizations and folks like the Park and Rec or the police and anybody else who participated in the event, making it a successful event. So that is in the works. So, and because I like the snowman so much, y'all get to see him again. Okay, any other questions on Starlight before I move on? Okay.
Not specifically to Starlight, but Sarah and I have been talking about getting some more video and photography, taking advantage of the decorations while they're up in town, because that's something we didn't have a lot of media on, and also doing some for the torchlight, even though that isn't technically a town-sponsored event, it is pretty much hands down the most popular event that happens in town, and it's very well known. And we have no professional photography, no video, no nothing that's of high quality for it. So I think as we've been doing, investing in video and photography so that we can keep using it for all our creative. You know, we always have something to pull from when we have these things. And so we're gonna put a little bit of money into that and building up those holiday assets, especially while we're
Some
getting.
of the floats were outrageous. Maybe that last year.
I mean, the town got to be known as the Christmas town
Yeah.
purely because of the torchlight. It's not like we have all these lights and stuff, you know, before. It's, people know it from all over. It's a torchlight parade.
And we got just that great write-up that went to 60 or 75,000 homes at no cost to us. So I think we really need to capitalize on the cachet that we have while we can. Sorry to interrupt you again.
No, I agree. Any other thoughts on that particular topic? Okay, I'll move on. Upcoming, so what we're kind of looking towards in the future. Jennifer and I spoke recently about how we have this great calendar now and how we want to leverage that. So we Miranda Creative are in the process of coming up with a plan to leverage organic social for call outs around calendar events. So I know CT Visit is one that I can always think of where they'll do happening this weekend and they'll call out 3 or 4 events happening on that particular weekend with some imagery. On that same topic, I found this great creative the other day as I was scrolling through. It's for the town of Durham, North Carolina, where I used to live. This was a reel, so it was particularly engaging, and I took a screen grab because I was thinking, this is kind of like what I had in mind, something that people could see. It would show up in their feed. These are the things that are happening this week. Push this out on like a Thursday, or excuse me, Tuesday or Wednesday, with a link to the page and the calendar. You know, learn more, find these events at this particular place, saybrook.com. So this is something I'm working with our social media and strategy team to kind of come up with a plan, come up with some visuals, but I wanted to share at least my kind of thought as to how we might want to consider moving forward with this. Moving on, I know Jennifer, you had spoken about earlier about having a table and some giveaways for the town and bringing some notoriety to it. So we have been in the process of building, I'm referring to it as Saybrook swag. So stickers and things of that nature. I think the stickers at this point were in process, potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're still looking at some other options, business cards with QR codes, and some other giveaways that have the town branding that people can, you know, engage with. Vendors could potentially use as well, depending upon the level of investment. All right, next topic, upcoming paid socials. So after Starlight, we'll be moving towards a more holiday themed paid social with the idea of shop and dine. To Jennifer's point earlier, this is the one, for lack of a better term, season that we don't have a ton of creative outside of Starlight Festival. We have some kind of cozy, fallish, winterish feeling images from a shoot we did in late fall last year, as well as some really great shots from Saybrook Home with their beautiful decorations and some other spaces. But we don't really have anything to showcase the town and how wonderful it looks at the holiday season. So we will work with the images we have to create this kind of, again, shop and dine and enjoy the holiday season in Old Saybrook. The plan is to launch those, like I said, after Starlight is complete. And again, moving towards that traffic campaign status where we will be driving all the traffic to the Say Old Saybrook website where people can engage with the calendar and get some more information on upcoming events in the town. Okay, that brings me to the end. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Miranda Creative has been working super hard for us. I just want to say that.
I appreciate it, Jennifer.
We are doing so much and I have been going in like 100 different directions and somehow Sarah keeps all the plates spinning. So I appreciate it.
No, that's really nice to hear. I feel bad sometimes when I send you like 3 different email chains because it's across a bunch of different things we're working on. So
Sorry.
I think it looks great. Really
thank
paid
you.
off.
Thank you. Yeah, we very much enjoy working with the town, and I'm not joking when I'm in Old Saybrook almost every weekend. So it's a great place, and you know, it's near and dear to my heart. I spend a lot of time up at Founders Park looking at the ospreys and the beautiful view up there. So
Sarah,
with my Ashlong coffee.
does Miranda Creative submit their work for awards?
We do. We have submitted our work for awards. We have this year actually had a relatively, for lack of a better term, successful year. Some of the projects we have done for some of our other clients have received some relatively notable awards. The work we've done with Old Saybrook and Say Old Saybrook has not, that to my knowledge, been submitted for any particular awards, but it's not something that would be off the table. So recently, our work for the Hartford Public Library was honored with a Hatch Award out of the Boston Art Association. So that
Wow.
was a big check for us, and we're very proud of it.
They're so they did for her.
Congratulations.
It's so cool.
Thank you.
I was very jealous. For those who love books, you would really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a really fun project, and I think there's a lot of subtleties for everything that the Hartford Public Library does. So, all right. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions for me, I'm gonna drop and grab some dinner. And thank you all for taking time to chat with me. And again, Jennifer, I'll probably be in touch, if not tomorrow, early next week.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
All right, great. Good report. On to new business. I'm gonna take the budget review first.
Yeah, so, last year we went over the budget pretty, extensively and kind of combed through the line items. I don't think we need to do that again this year because I think we got that in pretty good shape. I do think that we should continue on the track that we've been on, or we started on last year, where we add $5,000 a year to our marketing budget. So we started out at 17.5. This year we're at 22.5. I think we should add another 5, and then at least do it one more time. If everyone's in agreement, I think that we should do that again this year. That would get us up to 27.5 for fiscal year 26. And I think we sort of have primed the Board of Finance to expect that. And so I think it's pretty small. Yeah.
Jennifer, do we have to do anything or in regard? I mean, I'm really excited about public works doing the stuff down and so forth. Do we have to support them in some way for their budget that they're spending on Main Street?
This was all town led, you know, I don't know who's, well, I know Carl started a few years ago on the crosswalks.
Yeah.
That, you know, takes time. I don't know who decided exactly. I mean, we did bring up some of the sidewalk stuff after our walkthrough, but I really think Bill was, Bill Claffey, our Director of Public Works, was really steering the ship on some of that stuff and the maintenance down there. And I know he's been the one who's been focused on the parking stalls and getting those up to speed. So I think it's good news for us that we're not the only ones focused on Main Street. So we're not having to do a hard sell on any of that. The town is investing money. You know, we're not having to look around and pony up all of that. So,
But it might at least be nice of us when we see Park and Rec commissioners and so forth, you know, give them a heads up or Public Works.
yeah,
commissioners and say how much we appreciate it and think it's important for the town.
yeah,
And for the things we're doing.
yep, I agree. I feel very fortunate that,
Yeah.
you know, people are paying attention to it. The other thing related to the budget that I wanted to bring up is, and I alluded to it last month, and I did put something in my report about it, is the town has decided to do a 5-year capital plan, which is something that they haven't done in the past. I mean, each year we do take different capital projects and put them in on an annual basis, but they're trying to project out a little farther. This is an initiative brought up by one of their new Board of Finance members who's used to doing this long-term planning. And so I made a couple suggestions, and, you know, I just wanted to run them by you. Perhaps there's other suggestions you'd also like me to put forward. But one of the things that I suggested was, well, first of all, additional holiday lighting, which Carl already knew was coming because I submitted to him basically a 3 to 5 year plan on that. So they want to switch that over to more of a capital expense. The money that we've been given so far has been like out of different pots. And now to make it more formalized in the budget, it would be a capital expense. So that's in there. But the other thing that we've talked about is the fact that the town seal is not really representative of our town in a way that somebody outside of our inner circle would recognize, and how can we improve that branding and recognition. And Maria had given me sort of a ballpark on how much it would cost to do that work. She had suggested 10,000 in 1 year to do a lot of the design work and things like that, and any focus grouping and stuff that needs to be done, and then another 10,000 to follow up with that to start to really get the messaging out and do all that. So I had also submitted that as an idea because I had already run it by Carl and he was open to it. And then the other thing that even before I had the exciting meeting today, I had hoped to maybe put in there was some wayfinding for the downtown area. I know we talked about here, just in general terms, maybe having some kind of directory for Main Street. We've talked about some signage. And especially when I went on that walk with the Thrive folks and saw just, plus all the phone calls I get, to be honest with you, just how confusing that whole train station area is. And then, you know, wanting to really, if we get people coming in, promoting our Main Street, the easiest place to walk to from that area. I think, you know, we need to really think more visionary about that. And so I don't have a good number here, but that is something that I thought would be a great capital expenditure to improve that. So They're good.
You're talking actually the human scale wayfinding, so like walking off the train to walk down the main street, or versus like driving.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we do the walk, and we try to figure out what would be good for people, but why not drop some people? People come in on a train that have not been there, and then ask them, what was like, do you see, and would it be that, would it help you? I mean, it would be an objective opinion, because I see things maybe differently than they do. I mean, I find it even like at the antique center, and I'm trying to tell people, well, you're on 154, but then you're in 154, you have to, you know, by the Funky Farm, and you have to turn there, but keep going straight, it's Route 1. I mean, you know,
That one, yeah.
and it's that little, yeah, I mean, there's a
Where
little
the
confusion,
chambers, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I was thinking more pedestrian focused, but also driving focused, we could include that. And when these guys were here and walking around, and so they were not only new to the area, but they're professionals who are really cued into all these things. So it was great to have their perspective. And then when they showed me today, like their ideas for the train station, and I reminded them about some of their comments about our walk and asked them to put that in our Main Street stuff. So I think we'll get like a real blueprint from them. And it costs us nothing.
No,
And
I
then
think
we
this
can
is,
build on
yeah,
it.
a great idea, something, I don't know if it's, is that kind of development, or like, it's a public works thing, or just asking for the money, I think is important, getting people like from the train to the different, you know,
Yeah.
places around town. There's a lot of cities they'll have, you know, something with stamps, like a map of like what's nearby, the arrows pointing, like, here's Main Street, here's the beach, here's, you know, Saybrook point in, and some of those.
How many miles?
Yeah, you can even maybe get some of our, you know, anchor businesses to, all right, yeah, here's 2 miles to Saybrook point in, like, go this way.
Yeah.
Give a few signs along the way, or you might wanna invest in some of that.
Did they have ideas, or this is maybe a little, but did they have ideas and thoughts, or will they in the report about how to better visually and sort of experientially link like the train station with Main Street? Because you have that sort of like block of parking lot on one side and cemetery on the other side. Where you, if you didn't know, you might not know to just what you only have to walk like one block to get there. You know what I mean? So like, I think signage would help, but I also think if there was some way to like, I don't know, I mean, some of it may be a streetscape, some of it may, I don't know, but I feel like there are some visual improvement. I mean, I guess it would have to be streetscape of some sort of landscape, you know, things of that nature. So obviously we can't really build anything there, but I just wondered if they had thoughts about that, because that always stands out to me when I try to do that.
So, no, I didn't see specific stuff once they got out of the train station parking lot area, but that's what I asked them to put in.
Okay.
Because that was specifically talked about on our walk, like, even once you get out of there, like, where do you go? How far is it gonna be? Like, what are you gonna get to if you keep going?
Right.
Like,
right.
simple things
And
like
what's
that.
gonna make you like,
Yeah.
make it seem like it's gonna pass quickly in your gut, and you're going to keep going instead of being like,
Like you're saying 2 blocks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I will say,
yeah.
the stuff that they, suggested for the train station was, like, even beyond what I had thought about, so it was really exciting. I mean, they talked about how there were some just like visual impairments that I didn't even think about how to mark the pathway just so you knew how to go to the station versus, you know, where you get on the train. And maybe even opening up like the outdoor area at Pizza Works to make it, of course, you know, not that people from the train would just hang out there, but just more welcoming. It included like bike racks and a little places to sit, and it like transformed the area. It was beyond just signage. It was like welcoming, like, and it was just really cool to see. So, yeah.
They
I-
have like a map of the train station, you like walk out of it, it's like, usually we're downtown, because that could help. them, like,
Yeah.
See the
Say
visuals.
if you just say you're walking down the street 2 blocks, it would make,
Yeah.
if I was getting, oh, I just have to, and then you're at the top of Main Street and everything's in front of you.
Yeah.
Or if you make a right, you go to the shopping centers. You know,
You have something to get from the train station to like that Route intersection, and probably something else there. It's like,
I mean,
see Main Street.
so
Like a map you'd see at a mall?
Yeah, I mean, some towns will have those, at the train stations or like, major commuter parking lots, just like, here's a map of what's in town, you kind of get an
Here's
idea of
where you
wanna
are.
go. You can like draw, like highlight in like blue, like here's the sidewalks. You get to Main
Yeah.
Street.
But how utilizing that little building that's, it looks like it was like so where a person would sit to collect
Oh,
money.
yeah,
There's a little building at the train
at
station,
the end of the street.
at the end of the road. Yeah, like, if you don't take a right into the parking lot, there is a building there.
It's like a little kiosk.
Yes,
Oh,
there should be something in, there should be.
You're right, the parking.
Turn into
Go
a
in.
Like,
kiosk.
oh, something where there's like, you can grab, brochures or
Yeah.
something like that, coupons. I've never seen a person in it. I've never seen anybody. I've
I
never
don't know why
seen.
it's there.
I go and go look when you walk, like, if you're gonna go and make a left into where the apartments are, or right to the trains, right there is a little tiny building, yeah.
yeah, I felt like.
Because I was there, it's just a building.
It's a gray metal box.
Much.
No, no, I don't know you're not.
It is, yeah.
Looks
And
like it
then
had like a
there's windows on
security
both sides,
person
it
in.
has a box.
Yeah.
I used to,
I can send them some of
Or
these
something like that.
notes and,
see what they.
while they're incorporating all this, I mean, I'll let them know so they can move on.
Do like a footsteps,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
That's
two
what Boston had
rows
those like
for-
bricks.
Yeah, or something, like maybe not, yeah, it's something that like.
They had in their,
Gets you from the train
Oh, the
station.
strip.
Yeah. What do they call them? Little plaques where they talk about what's going on
Yeah,
because that cemetery, that upper
Mhm.
cemetery, have you ever gone on a tour of
Historical
that?
markers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a tour? They do tours there. The Historic Society does tours there. And it is fascinating about the slaves' graves and how they're turned outside, so the names are facing the road. It is fascinating. But that could be something that you can put there. So as you're walking down Main Street, it's historic. It's historic. It should be.
Walk through, you know.
Or walk by it and have something put there, because again, the Historic Society does some phenomenal.
is
tours.
that one's Upper Cemetery?
Upper Cemetery.
So I think Upper Cemetery, as part of the ARPA grant that they just got, it is to put some, educational signage there
Oh, good.
and do some grave restoration. I'm almost 100% sure they wanted some kind of sign there. I don't know what's gonna be on it.
Because you see them around town and, where I think it's kind of cool
Just
if you
feel like
walk
if you're out of town, it's always, like, if I see one of those, I want to stop and
read it,
read
like,
it.
yeah, exactly.
What's going on here?
Very cool.
I did a tour of the other cemetery on the way to Saybrook.
Cypress.
Yeah.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, great.
They do good things. Must be.
They've got a whole association.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a really nice job. They do a fabulous job.
So I will say in the plan we showed today, they did have, some colored, like, lines to sort of direct people. Our town planner was a little not sure if that was the way she would want to go, because the town has invested a lot in having like uniform sidewalks and things like that. And I think she wanted to give us a way to link with some of the existing sort of visual cues that we have. But I think, maybe we can use a mix of things or, but still, I understand what you're saying about that sort of like, how can we sort of indirectly and directly just sort of cue people, like, this is the way to go.
Well, and I think that when they extended the streetscape past, Boston Post Road up to, I think that helped a lot. It really opened it up, So,
But there's like 100 yards between the train station and where that starts. You get people in the back.
yeah.
It's like the last,
Well, right, that's what I wonder if we could even just fill in that gap, to like, even if it's just making it consistent with the rest of.
North Main Street.
Yeah.
right there, whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
so that, because that feels more like a town center to people than just kind of a sidewalk with, because there's not really any, and I don't know how much right of way we own there or anything, but there's not really any landscaping or anything like that. They kind of, it's just a lot of pavement
No, that's
and
the
like a
color.
lot of mishmash.
Like the color of it on like a trail now. That's what they were
Yeah.
showing. All like the red trail for shopping or the blue for like history.
I will tell
Green for the
you
beach. Or
that this year and next year, we are revamping the holiday decorations for.
That'll help the window visitors.
I'm glad you're doing some more of decorating at holidays, because even I went a couple, before Halloween and to Essex and, have all the witches and stuff on the front. And it's a tiny main street and whatever, but it does make you, I don't know, smile.
That's fun, right?
It's fun. And so for us to do more, I really think that's a great thing to do, because it's a longer period of time and I wish that whole year, I love when our flags are up.
I love that too.
During the summer, whatever. So I think we're going in the right direction. It's a lot. We want everything to happen right now.
I know. I know. Yeah, so anyway, those I thought could fit into economic development contributions for the 5-year capital
Yes.
plan. And if anybody has any other ideas, I'm happy to try and flesh those out and add them.
is there anything about like the Mariners Way, or is that gonna have its own like separate plan? Like that's what, when you're talking about some of the ideas, like, would it make sense to put some ask in there to somehow connect to that, or is that its own?
So, I
The
mean,
agency's gonna have its own budget.
yeah, that development corporation, I hope is gonna take the lead on it. We have invested some money there already, in the, initial like, kind of street assessment that we're doing.
Yeah, for the survey of it.
Yeah, the street survey. I'm not sure where that's at the moment, but we didn't completely wait for the development agency. We started taking on a couple pieces that we know we're gonna need no matter what, but yeah. And luckily we have a little seed money for that. We have, $250,000 set aside. Plus we have, the TIF money and some of the cannabis money. So we have a little something to start with.
Jennifer, how much money is set aside for developing Mariners Way in the next 5 years? Is that a part of this budget? I didn't notice it, but I didn't look that closely.
So Mariners Way isn't part of the economic development budget, like proper, but we do have $250,000 set aside to help with a catalyst project.
Okay,
Yeah, we do have money in the TIF fund. I think that's $80,000 or $100,000 at this point. And there's ongoing revenue from the cannabis sales, I believe portion at least of which would be able to be devoted to development in that area. So we do have a little something to start with. If those brownfields need to be redeveloped, certainly we'll pursue state grant funding or federal grant funding for that. And then depending on what the other projects are, I think we'll just have to wait and see based on what those turn out to be, what kind of funding opportunities we would pursue.
Okay, that's helpful. I mean, I think we at the Economic Development Commission worked very long and hard to find some kind of special identity for Mariners Way. And we were aware of King Arthur Flour in Vermont. They have also a school people would come to bake. We thought of something like that. We thought of a conference center, but Saybrook Point was concerned about that. And really, it's probably fine, not that we didn't do that. But I think that idea of the college that is really it's called building trade, what's the last term? But it has to do with building trades, but it also allows people who are learning those trades to maybe get a bachelor's degree or to study English or poetry. It's a really nice combination. And I'm hoping we can explore that a bit more, and I'd be glad to look into it. But it sounds like we have some funding that would help us be able to pursue that or something else that we might find desirable. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, we have put some money aside so that, we don't just get stalled. Again, it's part of that whole second study, not just being a plan that would sit on the shelf, but
Yeah.
that we would actually be able to purposely move forward with some goals. So.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the 250, that's the money that was the ARPA and not ARPA money.
Yeah. The blip. I guess it's not official till after the end of the meeting.
Shall we move on? Well, we've done the Saybrook and community calendar already.
No,
No?
we haven't actually. So at the last meeting, we talked about a lot of fun ideas. I just wanted to update you a little bit on that and also check in with you on what you wanted to pursue. So since the last meeting, we will have stickers and business cards ready by the time we have the Starlight Festival. The bags, I don't know if they'll be ready in time because we've been having trouble finding exactly what we're looking for, and they take a little more lead time than stickers and business cards. So we may or may not have missed that window. But anyway, I do have a table reserved at the Starlight Festival. And so we'll at least have some things to give away. And I think it'll be, one reason for people to come to our table is the Kate has donated 2 family 4-packs for Frosty the next weekend. And one of the places you have to go to enter is our table. I don't know, I thought also we might consider having a donation box for the soup kitchen. And originally we had thought if you brought a donation, we'd give you a bag for free. Like I said, I don't know if we're gonna have the bags, but Youth and Family Services always raises funds for the soup kitchen at that event, and that would be a tie-in with them if we wanted to do that also as another way to have people come to our table. And I've been exploring with Sarah too, whether or not we could have something fun. There was an idea also from Hartford Public Library where they had these little things and we thought, it would be in the shape of a speech bubble for us and you could like have your picture taken and we could post them, you know, promoting say old Saybrook and stuff like that. So she was pricing that out. And these are things that we could use over and over again, not just at Starlight Festival. So we have the big banner that we used at Celebrate Saybrook that we can put up. And so I think just anything we can do to start really getting the word out there to people that this is available. So if anybody wants to take a shift at the table or has ideas for it, let me know. That is certainly booked and ready to go. The other thing that we talked about at the last meeting was potentially putting together some kind of float or vehicle for the Torchlight Parade. I don't know if there's any appetite for that, but I did pick up an application if we wanted to do it. So let me know if anybody is still interested in that idea.
I think it's such a busy time of the year. I mean, I'm gonna be actually the weekend of the Starlight. I'm down in Washington. It's my grandson's 18th birthday and our family's all going down. There's so many different things going on for us for taking on a float with the big. Yeah, because if you're gonna do it, you really want to make it, yeah. And I know the holidays are.
Could be a fun
But-
time to get out to say all
Plus,
day.
we don't have the equipment, some of the equipment that they had out there last year was unbelievable. Yeah. With the lights on. I can't move.
Well, I am happy to have the table, so that's good, and to get new footage. So, I mean, I think those are two big steps for the holiday season, and we would certainly use those. And once we have all our swag and, you know, we've got our banner and things like that, like I said, whenever opportunities come up, we'll have all of that stuff. It will be easy to tee it up. So I think just every little bit of infrastructure we build is good, so.
Well, I'll be happy to spend some time at the table.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we talked about in that. I think the business cards, and the stickers and things like that also, we talked about, are there ways to rope in some of the businesses to help and, you know, maybe we could have them pass out some of those things too.
You put something on the trolleys or the hay ride. Vehicle or other things. Wagon, yeah.
Normally I might say yes, but that, the guy,
Well, say,
the guy
yeah.
who's wearing the horses,
Horses.
he's a very nervous man, and I wouldn't want to mess with his game. Let's just leave it at that.
Horses.
I don't remember the name. It's the same guy who did it last year. But let's just say we almost didn't get the horses. They're tempting.
End up putting little bubbles on the horses. They don't sing.
I know.
Anything else on that? If not, we'll move on to, Art Hall. Art Hall, wait.
We didn't get that, so it's on there.
So we're on to old business.
I really
I
haven't
guess
done anything more.
that should have been, oh, that was, the previous should have been old business. This should have been new business. Right? I don't know.
No.
No, we did piano last time.
Yeah, and I really haven't focused on that, I want to be honest. Maybe for December, January meeting, we could really pin down an artist and get that. I know spring is our target on this, and with just the calendar launch and all the holiday stuff.
Yes. It's.
I did see the piano, though. It's a very nice piano. Yeah. It's good.
And then I just keep the action items from Connecticut Main Street Center on here, just so we don't forget about it. But I really think with a lot of the things that we're doing promotionally and the things that are happening, that we're really fulfilling those goals from a number of ways. So I'm not worried that we're letting it fall by the wayside.
We don't really have anything on advisory groups at this point. Yeah. I think Erica and Susan had some feelings on the market stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I do want to say thank you to them. This, we already lost Susan.
Yep.
For helping be another set of eyes as we were finishing up the website and putting in, you know, their critiques. Because after you look at something for a while, it's good to have somebody with fresh eyes saying, oh yeah, this worked for me, this didn't, you know, I like this color, I don't like that color. So I appreciate them responding whenever I.
Because the restaurants were the ones that, you press and take a reservation, you got every restaurant in the state of Connecticut, I think.
Oh.
We had to narrow it down. Just,
Yeah, we don't want-
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you get a lot of New York, because when you do
Oh,
that search, you're on my house, yeah, okay, you got it. So they did that, that was,
We had to pivot a little
yeah,
and work with what we had.
so, which it worked, it works.
You know, I mean, we decided to focus, I don't remember if we went over this last time, we decided to focus on the restaurants as one of the pieces since we couldn't have the directories yet. Because that is a reason that people come here, and we have so many of them. So we were trying to figure out what ways we could, without all the pieces developed, make a site that felt complete enough and hit the most important, like, visitor factors. And then we'll just keep growing as we're able.
Just a comment, last weekend, I can't remember, I was in Lancaster, visiting friends down there, and we ended up there on their first Friday of the month. Have any been to Lancaster? It's really
Pennsylvania?
fascinating. Yeah. The history is amazing. I went to the museum that they're doing, and it was bigger. It was a bigger city than I had expected it to be. And they do, every month it's called First Friday. And everything is open and the stores are open and they have fun things that are going on. I couldn't believe how many families were out. I guess it's until 8 o'clock, but it's First Friday there. So it's like, so everybody knows it. It's not like, so everybody goes, oh, it's First Friday, so they're gonna go downtown. And I thought it was a very interesting idea because it did bring out families and people on the galleries. It is a city and it is bigger, so I don't know if it's something that totally works here.
I don't.
Chester
Chester does one.
They do that for Fridays
Yeah,
too.
but in their Main Street in some ways.
Well, they
smaller
call
than
almost
ours, so
all.
it's-
Right.
When I was in Wayne, we did a Thursday.
Hmm.
I don't know why, I can't remember, but that was like, but Thursday is kind of a party night anyway, you know?
That makes starts the weekend.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, it was just something that when we were wandering around and I thought, you know, we're always, if you're down here, we don't have the foot traffic that a lot of other towns do. I'm sorry, I was in Essex, I'm in Mystic, I'm, in Chester and whatever. And a lot of times I work at the gallery for Lisa and it'll even be a Sunday. I always feel like that we need to get more foot traffic and how do we do it? How do we get these people out? It was just something to throw out that, I felt was fun and families and were out and they were going to different places.
We kind of need to make the Main Street almost a destination here. Like, our Main Street is not the most inviting, walkable Main Street yet, it's all the cars in the park. And with events like that, you get a critical mass of people showing up. Or something. When we have the events, Main Street's packed, people are walking all over the place, there's always stuff going on. You got like a regular,
Yeah,
and the third big thing where
I think
summer
that's
crowd,
fun.
people will, unless you always get working or they're tourists in town, you get away with like a weekday or night, but the first Fridays are pretty regular.
I mean, I'm just throwing out, I mean, I,
Living so close to Main Street, and I keep remembering, Judy talking about how dead it is on Sunday, but I noticed that there's a lot of people walking on Main Street, like at different times, especially like.
during the week, you're.
Saturday at 5 or 6 o'clock, this past Saturday, I was driving, I saw all these people walking their dogs all over Main Street. I said, there are, I mean, it's a great Main Street to walk. I walk on it a lot, my legs are, but
Friday and Saturday night, it's quite busy downtown.
Usually. I was just, as I said, it was just one thing that the stores were all open and it's not just for the restaurants, it was,
Yeah.
Yeah, but all,
I don't know, it's just something to
keep in mind, I mean, we.
keep in mind. I don't know.
Keep it on as another building block, as other things, the website gets more action, get more things to say and so forth.
Because Sundays, I'll leave that gallery and I love walking, so I leave it. Stores are closed, nobody's on the street and it's like, oh my God. And Sunday should be a shopping day or people should be out. Maybe you do a Sunday,
second Sunday.
second Sunday or I don't know, but it was just really out there. It was a fun event and
Well, it's fun, you can see your neighbors and stuff, so.
And that's what they were doing. I mean, I'm with people and they're seeing, they're all from Lancaster and they've been brought up there and you can see everything. And it's fun just to see the young children and everybody was out and we had a great dinner.
And I mean, we've got a lot of benches on Main Street too, because I use them, when I'm walking, because my knees aren't what they used to be, And I walk down, maybe grab an ice cream or I'll walk down and stop by Waltz and pick up a cookie and sit on a bench.
That part of Main Street is the busiest. It just is.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to like pull out like where my Cronin's office is. And if I were a younger person, but anyway, he has like the commercial part and like if somebody redid it and they had like a little shop or a chocolate shop or some kind of shop and the people live there and just having more things, because it's hard to get people down the street. They go to the cave, but I'm just thinking.
No, that's a good thing on it, what kind of business to do, but almost like, how do you connect and fill in those kind of like long spaces, little gaps. There are some like denser areas that are also spread out.
You have the running store. Kitty cats.
Then you have those condos, and parking lot.
Business on it.
Where
Where weird main lots are.
You can
Where
put stores.
weird Main Street.
Right, no, that's what I mean, no, I agree.
And I'm always thinking of development of it and how to draw it, and I'm not quite sure. But,
Wait,
as I said, it was just this first, I know when we have events on a Friday night here, people come out. I mean, during the summer, I don't know, we had a women's night or something. Like all the stores were, I mean, people were walking, because I actually was taking a walk, just watching people. I was having so much fun because there were so many people walking with some women's night or
But when the E-list did their.
maybe it was an E-list because
they're coming soon. Well, they're in Essex or something, I think. That,
Yeah,
Well,
they do it in the
December,
summer.
wasn't
they do.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, summer ones.
But anyway, it was just that one night I had driven in, I was out of town and it was like 8 o'clock and I'm driving down. So lively. And I actually parked my car and I took a walk. And it was like, this is fun. I mean, I wasn't going shopping. I just liked the fact that I was walking in my town.
Mhm.
Humans.
Yeah.
anyway.
All right, so there's nothing else. I have no more comments. Except encourage everyone to participate, help us out on the table at the Starlight Festival, and we'll see you. Probably that's our next get together, right? We want to have a meeting for it. Right?
That's good.
Yeah, I would do one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what the kids are doing. I can.
But you can bring them over to
Take them over to-
the library, and youth services has some stuff, they face painting and stuff where they do.
They're having like some kind of live action Grinch game
Oh,
here.
right.
Hula hooping, like they're gonna have like some professional hula hooper demonstrating and then people can do it too. So, and the garden club is having a lunch table on it, so you bring it, you can go there and be with the station.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And children.
Nice, nice. Sure. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Judy,
Yes.
okay, second.
Aye.
Erica, all in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Thank you all for participating.
Good night, Liz.